Hello, fellow humans! I went and grabbed a sweater because I'm actually kind of chilly today. But welcome back to my channel. If today's your first day, subscribe to see my boring day-to-day updates with the occasional exciting thing thrown in. I wanted to kind of start off by saying hi, and there were a couple of questions left on yesterday's video that I want to address to kind of pick up from there. Jim, you had asked me how I was trying to edit the suspension rig, and I probably should have grabbed props, so we'll kind of like use these. So the way that the rig is set up right now, and if you're not familiar with it, it's just a swing set frame, so there's one bar straight across, and then on each end there's kind of like a V that comes down. And then on the V, there's another bar right here. So the reason why it sways side to side and the way that that could be fixed is if I were to add, so let's say this is the side. If I were to add something from that bar up top that connects either to the center bar down there or just to both sides. Pretty much it needs something to stabilize from this bar directly to the legs because that'll help it not go side to side. And there's a technical term for it. It's something that I could probably just pick up anywhere that sells like PVC piping. It's just like I need something that'll attach around the main pole and then some sort of like metal or heavy duty plasticky type thing to add that extra support diagonally. Long term, I think I'll just end up getting a new rig, but if I were to try and edit the one I currently have, that's how I would go about it. And then, am I an introvert? This is something I actually ask myself somewhat frequently. Am I actually introverted? I don't know. Because the thing is, I actually really dislike being by myself. Like, at all times, I would rather have somebody here with me. I wouldn't always want to be around a whole bunch of people, but like, I would always rather have Matt home than have him be off at work at night. I would much rather be sitting here with one of my close friends than sit here alone by myself. That being said, though, it's a pretty short list of people that I would want to see at any given time. There's a very long list of people that I very much enjoy their company, but sometimes I get tired and then I want to kind of go back to alone time. But there's certain people that like I can be alone with them. Like Matt, for example. I mean, we're married without the paperwork pretty much. And there's not a single mood I could be in that I wouldn't want him to be around for. Even if I'm mad at him, I still don't want him outside of the room. Like, I could be totally irritated with him over whatever, which doesn't really happen. But if it did, I could be totally irritated with him and still want to be, like, back to back, like, touching him in some sense because I can be alone with him. And I'm sure you know what I mean by that, unless perhaps you are introverted and that's what being introverted means. But I wouldn't say that I'm extroverted either because I do get that sense of just needing to be away from people. So I'd say I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm a people person who also gets worn out by people. So I don't know. I think it's ambivert is like the word for not being either extroverted or introverted. I think. Yeah. So today I decided to go back and give the lavender lemon tea a second chance despite its lack of tea tag. So here we are just dipping Mr. Naked Tea Bag in the tea. And then I was asking what kind of tea you guys enjoy drinking, and Jim said you pretty much only drink Earl Grey. To be honest, I don't remember the last time I've had Earl Grey tea. It's just not something that I ever think to buy. The one, like, plain black tea we keep in the house is, what's it called? It starts with a C see? I suppose I could just go grab it because now I don't remember. Hold that thought. I'm gonna go over there and you're gonna see how horribly mismatched my outfit is today. I'm back. And yeah, I was totally like starting to get ready for bed, so I'm wearing these bright red shorts, but then I wanted to put on something cute that you would actually see, so I'm wearing the Princess Bubblegum Marceline shirt that Matt bought me a while back, which is adorable. Look at how cute they are. But this tea, it's the Bigelow Constant Comment. So it's like a black tea with orange rind and sweet spices. Yeah, so this is like the plain black tea that we keep around in the house. So I don't remember last time I've had Earl Grey then, and I would assume Earl Grey is probably something I would prefer with like cream and sugar in it, which is why I tend to get the more herbal teas because I prefer them unsweetened, and I'm trying to at night not drink sweetened things. Yeah, we have a pretty decent tea selection going on in the house. We've got the 4 teas that I got, the Constant Comment that we always keep around. Matt just got some more green tea. It's a very tea-friendly household here. I also spent a little bit of time this morning making another batch of my favorite low-carb bagels. They didn't really come out like bagels because I didn't take the time to super like shape them with the hole in the middle. But I love these things. They kind of taste more like buttery biscuits than they do bagels. They don't have that like chewy bagel consistency. But I make these low-carb bagels with fathead dough, which means that they're made with almond flour, mozzarella, cream cheese, eggs, baking powder, and that's it. There's only like 4 net carbs per bagel. I put a sprinkling of salt and sesame seeds on the top just to give them a little something extra. I need to pick up some poppy seeds because I feel like poppy seeds on these would also be really good. But they're very bagel-like and delicious. I love making sandwiches out of these in the morning. Like I'll just kind of, cut them in half like a bagel and put some sausages or something in there. Delicious. And Matt really likes them too, so it's a win-win. So it's an easy thing for him to slap some cream cheese on it. And look, meal. They're not low calorie, but they are low carb. But it's a really nice thing to keep around the house. And the thing I dislike about making them is they're just like kind of messy because the dough, it's very, very sticky. So you have to like oil your hands and it's a very hands-on thing. So I'm thinking I might just give up on trying to shape them into bagels and just like use the spoon and do like dollops and just accept the fact that they're going to look like biscuits and skip trying to like form them with the hole in the middle because it's frankly just a pain and I don't care what shape my bread is. Either way, I'm just going to be cutting it and eating it, so what's the matter? I do want to try a couple other keto-friendly recipes I've been looking at because I bought a bottle of MCT oil, which is supposedly like really great for the keto diet, and so usually people use coconut oil and things, and there is MCT in coconut oil. MCT is just like, it's a word, can't remember exactly what it stands for, but it's a kind of fat. Let's take a look. What does MCT stand for? Oh, here we go. Okay, Google. What is MCT oil?
According to Wikipedia, medium-chain triglycerides are triglycerides whose fatty acids have an aliphatic tail of 6 to 12 carbon atoms.
I don't know if you could hear her, but so MCT stands for medium-chain triglyceride. It's a triglyceride whose fatty acids have an aliphatic tail of 6 to 12 carbon atoms. I don't know what the heck that means, but if you go to the nutrition...
Strong.com.
That's not what I want to know. Shush Google. If I can say hello Google, I should be able to say shush Google. It's easily and quickly digestible type of fat that requires lesser amounts of enzymes for absorption in comparison to other kinds of fat. Now what? I don't want to just like talk out of thin air, so I want to like give you guys facts. I'm gonna talk about this stuff. I should have just prepared and like looked up this beforehand. I'm not exactly a like guru on this thing. I'm just filling you in on what I know about it. And you can very easily just Google this yourself. But we're gonna go ahead and just have a conversation about this. Whatever. Okay. So, it's one of the best, most bioavailable forms of energy. It's an ideal source of fat that creates energy in the form of ketones almost instantly and generates a strong thermogenic effect. It's done without the concern of it being stored as unwanted body fat. And it... Because pretty much the biggest question I have is, like, realistically, what's the difference between using straight up coconut oil or using MCT? Oh, look, perfect. MCT oil versus, I don't know why I thought you were going to be able to see this. MCT oil versus coconut oil. So supposedly MCT oil is supposed to be cheaper. It's supposed to have less of a taste and aroma than coconut oil. Coconut oil is burned for energy, but not as fast because lauric acid C12 makes up the majority of coconut oil MCTs. It has a longer digestion process versus MCT oil. Both C8 and C10 go directly to the liver where they're quickly metabolized into ketones. And the whole point of the ketogenic diet is the idea of going into ketosis, meaning that you eat such a low amount of carbs that your body stops processing carbs for energy and directly goes to processing fat instead. And that's why it's supposed to be like, I think 75 or 80% of your daily calorie intake is supposed to be from fats when you're trying to be in ketosis. And then another like 20% is supposed to be from protein, and only like 5 or less percent of your daily intake of calories is supposed to be from carbs. So usually people say, especially when you're getting started, you don't want to have any more than 20 grams of carbs per day. You should be having somewhere around like 100 or 120 grams of fat and like 80 to 100 grams of protein or whatever. But mostly I'm doing like lazy keto, where I'm eating keto-friendly foods, and I'm not exactly tracking all my macros. I'm more of just keeping an eye on how many carbs I'm taking in and counting calories. As far as like trying to hit a goal for protein or for fats, I don't really care. But one thing I do want to do is start making more fat bombs, which is a thing that a lot of people do when you're on this particular diet plan. Because pretty much fat bombs, they're extremely low carb, calorie dense, high fat, like morsels, like energy bites. Usually they have like either like cream cheese, oils, really high fat, low carb things in them. And there's savory ones, there's sweet ones. Usually they're sweet because people tend to do them with like dark chocolate or vanilla or whatever. You see a lot of like cheesecake or chocolate or almond, whatever. But there are other ones. Like the only ones I've ever made, I did make a savory fat bomb before, 'cause the book I have has recipes in it, and it was really good. It was like bacon, goat cheese, cream cheese, and that was pretty much it. There wasn't really much else in it, and they were just like these little, and you just keep them in the freezer. There's like little dollops of this mixture, and the point of them is that you can eat one, and because it's so dense in fat, it really just satisfies hunger. Like, you can eat one and you're just not going to be hungry for a while because it's so rich. You just get full very quickly on this diet, which is part of why it works for a lot of people, because you're not peckish throughout the day. You'll eat a really high-fat meal and you find yourself just not being hungry as often. Which is why a lot of people also match up the ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting, the idea of only eating for a certain number of hours of the day and fasting the rest of it. And they go really well together because the keto diet is all about being satiated quickly with high-fat foods, so you can go those long periods of time without eating, without feeling super hungry in between. So there's my random blurb about nutrition, science, whatever. Let me know your thoughts down below. I do not want to hear all the crap that you get all the time about, oh, fat is bad for you, fat is fat, fat makes you fat. No, it doesn't. This is just something that was drilled in your head by the food pyramid people years ago, and it's been disproven a bajillion times over. Fat does not make you fat. Eating too many calories and sugar and all that crap makes you fat. Eating fat does not make you fat. So I don't want to hear all the anti-keto whatever. It's working for me. It's still largely disputed in a lot of different areas, but I think it's mostly just on misconceptions on what fat is as a food and just prior notions people have about that sort of thing. So I'm not looking for criticism on my choice to involve myself in this way of eating. I'm looking for your thoughts on recipes, ideas, things like that. So if I see hate comments, you're getting deleted. Not dealing with it. No. I don't know how this turned into this. This was supposed to just be like a daily vlog, and here I am, like, going into full-on dom mode. I kind of get these power trip moments, like, when I have power over something, I really kind of get off in telling people no. Like, if I'm at work and someone's a customer's in the wrong and I get to tell them no, I get really excited about it. Like, be like, no, I'm not going to help you. Please leave. And, like, I get such a power trip about it. And Matt makes fun of me. He's like, you're a lot more switchy than you say that you're super submissive, but you can be pretty switchy, Michelle. And it comes out sometimes. And that's one of those moments when I have power over something and I get to deny something to someone. I just get off on that. So don't make me go into dominatrix mode, because I will, and it won't be fun for you. Like, some people, I cannot stand the kind of person who, like, tries to annoy. This is like, now let's get into kink talk here. I can't stand the kind of bottom who tries to get a top to want to play with them by being obnoxious, like by trying to do things that are going to get them punished. Like, oh, what are you going to do? Spank me? No, I'm not, because we're not talking about punishments here. Like, I'm not going to do the thing that you want me to do. I'm going to do the things that I know you don't like. I went to a semi-high protocol dinner once before a party, and I was very much in my top mode, and one of the bottoms was being sassy, and they were like, oh, what are you gonna do, spank me? I was like, no, I'm gonna take you outside and tie you up like the dog you are if you don't start behaving. So that's the kind of top I am. I'm strict. I don't play those games. I don't think they're fun. I don't like brats. I suppose you could say I'm a little bit of a brat tamer in the fact that I just don't put up with it. I'm feisty today. I don't know. I'm just very... Kitty has claws. So how are you? I hope you don't mind my feistiness today. I think I'm just, like, excited because tomorrow's my day off, and I'm looking forward to doing some things. Even though the weather is kind of junk here, it's just going to rain literally all day, which actually might be nice because it's supposed to thunderstorm all afternoon, and I do quite enjoy thunderstorms. And I'm supposed to go visit my mother for a bit in the afternoon. And since I'm going to be over there, I'm going to attempt to grab the extra supplies I need to finish Snake Dude. Because I haven't been working, he's like sitting right here on the chair. You've probably noticed this pile of yarn in the background. I haven't been crocheting Snake Dude lately because I wanted to wait until I picked up the stuff to actually finish him. So if I'm going to be at the house tomorrow, I'm going to try and poke around and see if I can find the mystery bag of rice that I'm pretty sure is still there. Because again, my goal for Snake Dude is I don't want to spend a single penny in any of the supplies. I want to use stuff that I already have. The whole idea of using like this yarn and everything was that I wanted this to be kind of like a stash buster project. So I'm going to try and find the rice that I think I already have to use as the filler. I'll use a fabric that I've got lying around I don't care about to create like a tube to put the rice in, because since he's crocheted, there's like holes, and I'm not just gonna fill them with rice. I'm gonna like create like a long snake kind of shaped bean bag with like pockets of the rice to put in him, and then use stuffing that I have around it to finish filling him. But then because he's crocheted, I pretty much have to put all that inside and then finish the crocheting to the end of the tail. So I've just been kind of holding it off until I make sure that I have the rice, because if I'm going to go buy rice, I don't know, I might come up with something else, like using, I don't know, rocks, sand. I'll find something. I don't want to pay for stuff, so we'll see what I have laying around for weights. But this has been almost 20 minutes of me rambling, so I'm going to let you go. I will catch you tomorrow. I might try and film a rope video tomorrow, so stay tuned. Bye.